the Holly of All podcast. Transmission will begin momentarily. How you doing, guys? Let's start the show. Alright, I'm Stefan. Let's talk about what just happened. A terrible thing happened. Alright, I had to debate myself whether should I cover this story or shouldn't I cover this story. It's, as you know, there's a massacre that happened in New Zealand. Alright, a terrible massacre. Okay, terrible massacre. And, 47 people died? 47? And it's very hard. Basically, it's about a guy, Australian guy, who I'm sure you guys already heard around the world already. It's a guy, he did this heinous act. He went to a mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand. Basically, it's a peaceful place, and he picked it because of his... New Zealand don't have that much controversy when it comes to shooting like this. They have stricter gun laws in America, all right? But this guy somehow able to get his gun and went on a horrendous killing spree. I don't condone this stuff. This is bad. Should never result to violence. Should never kill anybody. We have our differences, but yet again, we should always resolve it with our words. But he did this act, and apparently he released a manifesto indicating why he did this. 70-page manifesto, and we'll get to the numbers in a bit. But he went to a mosque and just shot innocent people, not just Muslim, but also Caucasian people too. It's not just a group of people. It's just people who's there at the wrong moment, the wrong time. And they were just a casualty in this massacre. He shot. While he was doing this, he was streaming on Facebook. So Facebook is are under a lot of heat right now for having this capability to perpetuate people from doing this. So he streamed it, and people was angry at this guy. And I'm not sure the motive. I think they try to portray him as an alt-right or a conservative, which is totally nonsense, because people of the conservative movement won't even do like this. It's totally a psyop. In my opinion, don't jump to conclusions before you get all the evidence, all right? But I'm thinking this might be a psyop, and they want to perpetuate this narrative that people who's conservative are very crazy and on the fringe of doing stuff like this. This guy clearly have mental problem, all right? Inability to think cohesively, and obviously he have a motive to do this. But anyway, he released a manifesto, a 74-page manifesto, labeling or mentioning, for example, Candace Owens, which was known for her outspoken against liberals, and PewDiePie, which he's just a video game player. He don't affiliate with any side, but for some reason they want to kick him. He mentioned his name in his manifesto, which they have nothing to do with it. They have no connection, nothing. Candace Owens, she don't. I'm sorry about, but she don't. Well, you know Candace Owens, what's her goal is just to make black people think. Her goal is not to. She have no animosity against Muslim. Her goal was to talk against the Liberal Party. That's it. She had. All of her message is not anti-Muslim or anything like that. All right, but so is PewDiePie. I mean, I'm not defending PewDiePie, but he didn't have nothing to do. He's just a video game player. They might connect him with video games, but there's no correlation between video game and violence. I mean, there's no empirical evidence out there which link to it. There might be some crazy guy who play video game. That doesn't mean random guy who play video game, but that doesn't mean he's crazy just because he play video game. But there's no connection between that. But in the manifesto, it's clearly stated these people name. And what else? Right. And it's kind of raises a suspicion because we want all the evidence out first, but the media is portraying this because people are the rumors circling around that it might be a false flag, and the media jump to conclusions by try to portray the people who mention false flags are conspiracy theorists, which there's a lot of there's no coincidence. I think there's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of missing holes. There's a lot of unanswered questions like why are they making the assertion that it might not be a false flag? There's ideas of crisis actors out there as well, and I don't blame people who think about this. People have the right to think whatever they want to think. But I reserve my rights too. I probably have a clear indication of what happened. I mean, it might be a false flag. It might not be, but who to say it isn't? Sorry about. But but when it touch on this idea of gematria is very censored right now. I'm very cautious when I mention gematria because all the content producers who mentioned gematria somehow got their channel deleted and labeled as conspiracy theories. But when you plop in gematria, all these names and all these numbers, 47 victims, right? And then 74-page manifesto. If you know gematria, 74 have a strong connection with murder, right? Freemason equals 74. All these stuff. When you look at it, 74, it's all these strange connection when you plot in gematria. But you don't have to take my word. There's other channels that mention gematria, but I'm trying to keep gematria low because people are really, if you mention or say any false flag, people are very sensitive to this thing, and they keep denying. How dare you say it's a false flag? And I was like, you know what? I'm just evaluating all the evidence out there because, in my opinion, I don't think there's a coincidence. There's the reason why this happened, and to make it even weirder, it happened during the Eye of March, March 15, Eye of March. Caesar got assassinated. All right, there's a strange connection between this. Of all days today, and to make it stranger. John Podesta was there too. He was in the New Zealand area to try to promote some speeches, but I kind of question why is he there? Why is he making of all places? And New Zealand are known to be a place where elite buying homes in New Zealand for some odd reason for that they think that if there's a collapse, New Zealand will be the best place to go for. But there might be. This is too soon to come up with more evidence, but more evidence is going to show up. I guarantee you that. More evidence can pop up. There's more, like the Vegas shooting, right? Evidence keep popping up here and there. Here. As for Christchurch, New Zealand, I bet you more evidence can pop up. And it's a sad day in New Zealand. But yeah. But I'll look more into this and bring you more evidence of foul play, or if there is any foul play, some developing storyline. But yeah, this is a sad day, and the media is really pushing that anybody who thinks it's a false flag are really crazy out there. But it might be, it might not be, but you can't never be too sure. Whatever it is, a false flag. I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to be a neutral party. But if it's a false flag, hey, anything positive. False flags happened before. There's evidence out there. But on that note, guys, pray for New Zealand and have a good day.